Hello. I wanted to film today because the weather was absolutely gorgeous, first time in ages. And I waited for the sun to be high enough to not glare in my face. But it's turned quite overcast. But never mind, it's not raining, which is fine. I want to talk to you about some jobs I've got to do at home rather than at Muddy Puddles, although I have got some big jobs coming up at Muddy Puddles that I want to talk about as well. So the first one in my home garden is this really needs attending to. I've got 4 Dutch hens that love to dig, and that's fine. And I usually repair the lawn at least once or twice a year. It's been very hard on the lawn this year. There's lots of bare patches, but there are also loads of holes that they've dug. They love to dig a hole. Some places I've protected it. So here, there's a wire mesh I've installed and pegged down flat to the ground so they can't dig there. And that's primarily because I have this grapevine growing up here around the post. This is an old cherry tree branch that I've strapped because it helps the grapevine purchase on something, so that sits there. And then I have another one across here, hooked up on there, and I train the grapevine along there. It's lovely. All the bunches of grapes hang down here in the summer, which is nice. So that's one of the jobs I've got to do. The second job is tidying up and replanting some of the areas here. So behind me I've got my ornamental grasses, which the better seed heads are over with now, but I also need to clear out that old growth before the end of February really, so when the new growth comes through, that it all comes through green and lush and that's all cleared away. But sadly this plant has, I think, very sadly passed away. I'm going to have to get in there and trim back and see if anything comes back, but I think I might have lost it. It's always stayed lush and green all winter every year, and we've had far colder temperatures before, but I feel what probably has happened this year is it went from quite warm to very cold very quickly, and I think it was just cold shock rather than the actual temperature. I think if we'd had a more traditional autumn and it got cold slowly, I think it would have been alright, but it hasn't. And there are a few other spaces that have had things disappear from as well. The other thing as well, this side of the fence, so the fence, I will show you very quickly. The fence is all around the flower borders, so the dogs are literally only able to go on the patio and on the bit of grass here, so they don't dig my plants up because they do like to dig, as I say. So the other side of the fence is my wildlife pond, and I need to clear out all the dead plants and leaves before it becomes too algae filled. And in this corner over here, oops, that one over there, that's the corner where it's a very shallow incline and it's a muddy corner, so that things like my hedgehogs and frogs and toads and different wildlife can get in and out, and also any small mammals that fall in accidentally are able to get out without drowning, so that's really important. So I need to tidy that up and clear that up. I've still got some really nice bulrush heads. And they are a real joy in the winter when there aren't many flowers. They really give a nice structure and a pretty thing to look at. But this year, as I say, has been quite tricky for winter plants because it's so warm. Things carried on flowering far too late, and then they got really caught out when it turned cold very, very quickly. All right. So some of the other projects that we have going on at home. I walk through to my side garden. Here through. Now this wisteria is lovely in the summer, and it actually makes a really nice dramatic archway to walk through, and people call this side of the house, the garden, my secret garden, and I guess it kind of is because people don't expect it to be here or so large. So I have this border to sort out. There, I have this border to sort out, which looks absolutely horrendous. Now, I have some photographs of it looking gorgeous. I made this bed 2 years ago, and the first year, although it wasn't completely full and amazing, I was very happy with it because it was the first year. Last year we had storms and we lost some ridge tiles, and while we were inspecting and looking, we noticed there's quite a lot of damage to the chimney all the way up there. There are a few bricks where the mortar's gone and the bricks are crumbling. It's a hazard because it could fall either this way onto the garden or anybody in the garden, or it could fall inwards and damage the roof. So we need that repaired. We had hoped to get it done in the summer, but nobody was available. Because I knew that this bed was going to have to be pretty much destroyed because the scaffold tower is going to have to go here, I knew that it was going to be a bit of a loss. I thought last summer, but actually we've finally got somebody who will be going to do this. This is my old garden shed. Originally I kept quail in there, but the quail don't live for very long, and the kids kept getting upset, so I stopped doing quail. I have this shed and it's great because it needs, again that's another job, to clean the perspex on top. I don't have a greenhouse. It's not a big enough garden for the kids to play, grow vegetables, flowers, and have a greenhouse. And kids and balls and greenhouses don't mix anyway. So I've put perspex on here, and on this shelf I put all my trailing tomatoes. Underneath I have lots and lots of storage of lots of different tools and things. Loads of stuff in there. The obligatory wood chipper like everybody has. And then I grow cucumbers up this side. I usually have a rod that runs from here to there. I run them up a string and then they come across here and hang over here all the way across to the centre pole by the end of the growing season, and I just keep wrapping them round and round and round string, and I have cucumbers all the way up here, across here, all my tomatoes across here, and then I have my standard tomatoes here. It's not a lot of space for tomatoes and cucumbers, but it's enough for our family, which I quite. So if you don't have space for a shed and a greenhouse, it's worth trying to be creative and find a space where you can do that within your shed. Just an idea.